Hey, welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. Checking out the brand new Gibson Les Paul Supreme today. What a beauty. Price tag of $39.99. I'll tell you everything you need to know about the Supreme when we put it on the bench and pull it apart. And of course, I'll plug it in and play it. At the top, if you're in the market for the Supreme or any other gear, click to buy new gear using our link. You do support us when you buy gear using our link, helps us make these demos, but you get easy payment plans and fast free shipping, so check that out in the description. You can also be in it to win it. Don't miss this one. We're giving away a Martin D28, beautiful guitar, when we hit 100,000 subscribers. We're growing quickly thanks to all of you. To be in it to win it, go ahead and hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and sign up using Gleam, entry link in the description. Without further ado, let's head over to the case and get this beautiful Les Paul Supreme out and take a first look. All right, get a load of this beauty. This finish is Fireburst. It's available in 3 finishes. Beautiful guitar. They got this flamed out top. They've got this contoured heel, much like a Les Paul Modern. They've got this beautiful ebony board with these block inlays, these kind of split block inlays. Check this out. They actually pulled this from the archives. This new take on the split diamond actually comes from the Gibson archives in the 1940s. It wasn't used, and they pulled that out and put it on this guitar. I think it looks sharp. Gives it kind of a Les Paul custom look on this Les Paul Supreme. Great name for it and certainly beautiful. You can compare this guitar to the Les Paul Modern. It has a lot of the same features. This version comes in at $39.99. And the original Les Paul Supreme was introduced in 2003, and it had about a 10-year run. Now that guitar had a flamed top, flamed back, with no control cavity cover. That guitar was also completely chambered, and it had a distinct sound to it. It probably took a long time to make because it didn't have a back panel for electronics, interestingly enough. They had to wire everything through either the plate jack here or the pickup openings, and it probably just took a lot longer to make. This one is much more comparable to the ultra modern weight relief that you'll see, and again, something like the Les Paul Modern at $29.99. So after we pull this apart and after I play it, I'll give you my raw reaction and final score on this guitar, and we can talk about a comparison between this and the Les Paul Modern and see which one might be better for you. But let's head over to the bench and pull it apart. I'm super excited, and man, you know, Zach and I see a lot of Les Pauls, but we keep taking this one out of the case and just saying, wow, it is gorgeous, and it's also really light. So let's head over to the bench. We'll go ahead and get some measurements on the neck. They list the profile as slim taper, but it does have the compound radius. Differing from the Les Paul Modern, it does not appear to have the asymmetric neck carve. 1.69 inches at the nut, 0.8 inches at the first, up to 0.89 inches at the 12th. Man, check out these mother of pearl split block inlays. They look beautiful against the ebony. Now, when it comes to the compound radius, you're going to be 12-inch standard radius down here, and then you're going to get flatter up to a 16-inch radius as you get to the upper register. And then again, a nice feature is accessing the upper register is easier because they have this contoured neck carve too, which is nice. Body thickness comes in at 1.96 inches. Flipping up the humbuckers, we have a Lead Pro Plus in bridge position, and we've got a Rhythm Pro in neck position. Now, the Pro Burstbuckers, they're going to be different from the regular Burstbuckers. They're still PAF style, but they're Alnico 5 instead of Alnico 2. So Gibson will tell you that that'll give it a little bit of an edgier and brighter tone. Flipping on the multimeter, we're at 8.2 in bridge, 7.4 in neck, 3.8 combined. And let me tell you about the controls. You have a lot of extra features here, actually similar to the Modern again, but in the volume, you have coil taps. You can always recognize a coil tap with the multimeter on because it's not going to half the value like a coil split. The coil tap is actually reducing the length of the wire just to change up the tone a little bit. It's a little, I think, less drastic of a difference than a coil split, but these will feature coil taps. The tone on the far right bout is going to give you a straight bypass. It's going to take the bridge and route it straight to the output for a very wide open sound. The controls won't do anything in that position. And then this is really usable. I love this. They have a phase flip. So in middle position, you can flip the humbucker's phase so that when you pull this, you're going to get a really nice out of phase tone, which you'll hear in the demo. Yeah, the gold hardware also reminds me of the Les Paul Custom too. Flipping it over, we can take a look under the hood of the electronics cavity. Let's pull that off. Wow. Lifting up the control cavity cover, you can see the double tall CTS pots for the push-pull feature. Circuit board on this guitar. You know, it's the same wiring, but I like to see hand wired in a guitar of this price. All right, let's see what that ultra modern weight relief gives you. 8 pounds, 2 ounces, we'll call it 8.2 pounds. So yeah, a lighter Les Paul for sure. The weight relief, you know, probably knocking a good pound or so off. Flipping around the Supreme for the initial playing reaction. Nice ring to the guitar, definitely a slim tapered neck for sure. Very playable. Action out of the box is really good from the factory. It looks beautiful. It feels great. If you like a slim tapered neck, you're going to like the feel of this one. Nice and slim for sure. Remember, if you're in the market for this guitar or any other gear, click to buy using our link. You really are going to get easy payment plans too. And if you're buying a guitar at $39.99, those payment plans make it a lot easier. Check out that link in the description. What a beauty. This is my favorite part. Let's see how it sounds, right? And that's what's important. We'll plug it in, I'll show you cleans, I'll dirty it up, and then I'll let it sing behind the track. Remember, after the performance demo, stick around because I'll give you my raw reaction, my honest feedback. We'll compare it to some other models and I'll give you a final score. I'll see you on the other side. Let's plug this in and have some fun. can't get enough of that out of phase middle. I love that sound on a Les Paul. You stuck with me to the end. This is the Gibson Les Paul Supreme. It's $39.99. And after I've played it, after we took it apart, my job now is to give you my honest feedback and give you a final score. First, I'm gonna hyper focus on this guitar. I'm not gonna compare it to anything else yet. Let's just talk about a score. When I give a guitar a score, I give it 3 categories: overall playability, overall sound, overall value. When it comes to playability, here's what I like, here's what maybe I'm not crazy about. I like that it's lightweight. At just over 8 pounds, it's a great weight for a Les Paul. It's very well balanced. The neck feel is very good. It is a slim taper. I personally prefer a bit thicker of a neck. But I'm not a huge fan of the asymmetric neck carve that they're doing on the Les Paul Modern. I like that this is a little bit just more straightforward, slim taper. Also, from a playability standpoint, when you get up into the upper registers, it's debatable how much you're going to personally notice this, but it does play fast in the upper register because of the compound radius. You do have a flatter fretboard, and I will tell you straight out of the gate, I love ebony as a fretboard material, and it's harder and harder to find these days. So beautiful piece of ebony, and ebony lends itself to kind of a very buttery playing experience. It's just very smooth and creamy. I certainly like the ebony fretboard. Other nice little details just from a playing standpoint. Locking tuners are always nice for changing strings. I'll tell you what'll detract from playability. Me personally, I don't need a whole bunch of switching options on a guitar, but if you like that, they give you a great set of features. The coil taps, in my opinion, are not super usable for anyone, no matter what. But what are usable are the other 2, and that's the phase flip in middle position. And I actually really like the wide open switch. The only thing you gotta watch out, when you pull that wide open switch, especially when you're taking a lead, it really jumps through. It's like there's nothing in its way, because literally it's just jumping straight from the bridge pickup straight to the output, no extra electronics or wiring or anything. So it has a big open sound that just leaps out at you and you can't notice it. It's almost like a little bit of a solo boost button or something. What I will tell you from a playability standpoint is you gotta remember that you pulled it, that you used it. So there's a couple of times where I'm starting to flip through pickup settings and I'm going, it's really not changing. And you're forgetting that when you pull that, you're wide open, this isn't gonna do anything. So you just have to then it's kind of a little bit of a fumble trying to remember, okay, is it on, is it off? And just specifically with the layout of a Les Paul, the controls being down here and the 3-way toggle being up here, you gotta kind of do a little bit of dancing and also remembering what you have turned on or off. Let's move on to overall sound. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that these are not my favorite Burstbuckers. These Burstbucker Pros, they sound a little bit wolfy and dark to me. And Burstbuckers are funny because I'm the first to say that maybe Burstbucker 2 or 3 are not my favorite because they're a little bit too bright. They kind of got some teeth to them, but not maybe in the best way. I love like the Burstbucker 60s, like the 61 Burstbuckers, those are my favorite. These sound a little bit darker. And whether it was clean or whether it was distorted, I did think it was a little bit muddy sounding personally. So on sound, I'm not huge on the sound of these pickups, and the pickups should be a big part of it, right? And then overall value. Here's the thing, and here's where we're gonna start talking about other models. It's $39.99. It is absolutely beautiful. I am an absolute sucker, as I know Zach is too. He was just telling me. We just can't stop looking at it. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the gold hardware against this newly resurrected split diamond headstock from the 40s. Super cool. The mother of pearl is gorgeous on these split block inlays, especially against ebony. It's gorgeous. It reminds you kind of a different take on a Les Paul Custom, and it definitely has those appointments. It has a lot of that feel. In terms of value, if they put Supreme on this model, they already did a Supreme for 10 years. And that guitar in every way was a higher end guitar than this guitar. So if they're gonna resurrect Supreme, there's some things I would have liked to see. I definitely would have liked to see a fully chambered body. I would have liked to see, rather than just a black back, if you're gonna flame out the top, I'd like to see the back flamed out too, and I'd like to see some other choice other than just black for the whole back and neck. Because that said, if you take away the chambered body, you take away a lot of what people associated with the sound of the Les Paul Supremes, and it may not be for everybody, but to me it was a big part of it, and I really liked the sound of that playing the older Supremes. The other thing is, yeah, you got the flamed out top, but you can get that on the Les Paul Modern too, right? You can get a flamed a AAA Les Paul Modern. Those are $29.99. So here we go. I can't talk about value without talking about the Les Paul Modern, because this is basically a Les Paul Modern with a new split diamond headstock. It does not have an asymmetric neck carve. It has a regular neck carve. And it's got these, new block split inlays, which look gorgeous. But the Les Paul Modern has everything else, down to the controls. The pickups are the same. The ebony fretboard is the same. Again, you can get a Les Paul Modern for $29.99 using our link with a flame top. And the Les Paul Modern will even have a color nitro finish on the back instead of black. So, you know, to me, what are you getting for the extra $1,000? You're getting Les Paul Supreme in name, but are you getting what a Les Paul Supreme should be? I'll let you drop a comment and decide. But if I had to give scores across each of those three categories, overall playability, I'd rank the playability high. I'd go ahead and give it, I'd give it a 9.0 on playability. Overall sound, to my ears, playing this guitar in every setting right now, I like the additional functions of like the out of phase flip. I'll give a little bit of a boost for that, but the sound of the pickups themselves, I'm not sure that I'm crazy about. I'll go ahead and give it an 8.0 on overall sound. And then overall value, because I can look at this and say, well, it's not like the Les Paul Supreme that I remember from 2003 to 2013, really much at all. And it's so like the Les Paul Modern that costs $1,000 less, I can't give it a high grade in value. It looks gorgeous. I want to love it. I can't stop looking at it. Overall value, because I have the directly comparable Les Paul Modern, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7.0 on overall value. That's going to bring our overall score for the Gibson Les Paul Supreme to 8.0. Nice, beautiful cosmetic features. I don't think it quite lives up to the Les Paul Supreme name as we knew it before. And there's a directly comparable model, the Les Paul Modern. So my honest feedback for you, my biggest recommendation, if you gotta have the looks, then these are looks that kill, you go with the Les Paul Supreme. It is gorgeous. It will turn heads, no doubt about it. I love the little resurrection of the split diamond headstock and all that. But I've just gotta tell you and be straight with you, that for $1,000 less, you can get this guitar. It's called the Les Paul Modern. It's got an ebony fretboard, it's got compound radius, it's got asymmetric neck carve, it's got everything we talked about in this guitar for $1,000 less. Kind of a head scratcher to me, honestly. I want to love this guitar because it looks so darn good. I don't know if I'm crazy about the pickups. It's the same pickups in the Les Paul Modern. So drop a comment and let me know what you think. My best recommendation in demoing this guitar, as I reflect, my best advice to you is if you want a guitar like this, go buy the Les Paul Modern at $29.99. If you've got to have this, the link is in the description. And if you're in the market for the Les Paul Modern or the Les Paul Supreme or any other gear, remember to click to buy using our link. It really does help us make these demos when you buy gear using our link. So yes, I want to say thank you, but you are going to get fast free shipping and easy payment plans. And I'm telling you, the payment plans are where it's at. It makes buying new gear so easy. So check out our link in the description or pinned in the comments. And don't forget, when we hit 100,000 subscribers, we're giving away a Martin D28 to one of you. To win, hit subscribe now. You must be subscribed, so go ahead and hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and sign up using our Gleam link. The entry link is in the description or pinned in the comments. Good luck, and thanks for helping us grow this community of guitar players and traders. See you on the next video. I'm John, that's Zach, and this is Plain Trade Guitars.